Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the Day 9 recap of the Arizona Trail Showdown. Happy Monday, and thank you to the 30 of you who are already on preemptively for this podcast. So let's check in. Last we heard, Mike was coming down through the Superstition Wilderness, the third of the three long wilderness stretches on the Arizona Trail. Yesterday when we checked in, he was approaching Picket Post Mountain. So let's jump straight into the website tracker here and just see what's going on. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So here we got Phoenix just to the left of the trail. You can see that red number 1. Down here is Mike. So Mike is approaching mile 495. So right now Mike is in Martinez Canyon, I believe. So came down through the Superstitions. From what I understand, the Superstitions were very overgrown and rough. After going through the Mazatals and the Four Peaks Wilderness, I think Mike and his team were hoping for a little bit of relief in the Superstition Wilderness, and it sounds like they did not find it there. So Mike was able to make it into the Picket Post trailhead yesterday. And according to his Strava post, it seems like he did a little bit of a reset there. Right now, it appears that he is on smoother trail. It's going to be better maintained. He's making his way down to the Gila River here at the bottom of your screen, which is the lowest point of the trail. Currently, we do have Ben in Superior, who I believe is going to give us an update here. Ben is, I think they're just grabbing some food, probably recharging a little bit. So as he's stepping out of the restaurant, I'm going to click over to him now. Let me see. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Yep, sorry. So
Hey, Ben.
yes, how we doing this morning?
Excellent. How you doing?
Just a lot of well, it's been an eventful 24 hours. Yeah, me and Jeff Browning been working together with timelines, adjusting them with pace and terrain. You know, it's super hard to know what to expect on the pace wise and what numbers to expect from Mike based off of the terrain, because if he hits good terrain, he speeds way up, and then if he hits really rough terrain, he slows way down. And so we just keep setting milestones and keep adjusting. I mean, and to be transparent, Mike's a little bit more than a tad behind of what we'd want and what he would want. And so we're really looking at this next 100 miles as being a big decipher of if the FKT is even a possibility. And right now he is currently actually moving really well. So last night he actually moved very well down from Rogers Trough down to Picket Post. He hit a pretty good low again because he was just doing some power naps, and he needed to. We made the executive decision he made the executive decision. He's the ultimate deciding factor. To do a longer sleep. So he came in pretty late last night around 10, and that was actually a lot faster than we were expecting. And we wanted him out of there this morning at Picket Post by 2. But what he decided to do is, instead of trading a short sleep and a short sleep at the next aid station at Kelvin Bridge, he would roll the dice, bank on longer sleep at Picket Post. So he slept pretty much through the night. Got up this morning at 5 a.m. or about 4:30, 5 a.m. Was out the door right before 6. and is moving actually really well. I got a text from Derek Lytle, that's his videographer, that's actually pacing him on this one. I guess it's a really awesome section. They were able to get some sunrise video and photos, and they're moving actually really well. It's a big section. If people could understand that this is a 36-mile section of from Picket Post to the Gila, down to the Gila River and over to Kelvin Bridge.
Yep.
And so I want to do a huge shout out to some trail angels that actually knew that he was going to be in a tough situation with water on 36 miles. And they actually hiked in yesterday, it looked like 2 or 3 gallons. I mean, if you can imagine hiking on this rough terrain, 2 or 3 gallons and carrying water for yourself all the way the Gila River to where it starts to turn and go up north. So, yeah, and we had an update from the bike race that came through that one of the water sources are actually really good right now with all the extra rain that it has gotten. So he's going to have a good amount of water source. So all he needs to do is really concentrate on his keep moving forward and setting a good pace. So these next 100 miles, this next 100 miles is going to be a huge deciding factor by the time he gets to American flag crewing spot. It's flat. When you say flat, it's rollers.
Right.
It's rollers, but it's not like one big up, one big down. And actually, the trail is supposed to be pretty well maintained. Especially, I know I've been getting a lot of reports that a lot of people have come out since actually I've been through on some of the sections and done some more trail maintenance with the cat claws that were just shredding me up.
Good deal.
Yeah, so there's a lot of hopeful carrots that are dangling in front of Mike, and if everybody could understand that Mike kind of has shifted his, you got to find your why and your purpose of why you're enduring this intense amount of discomfort and pain. And it is the FKT, obviously, is his first one, but with that slipping a little bit and being such a bigger feat, I think what he is motivated by is the love that he is getting from so many people in the community, reaching out and messaging Sarah, messaging me, messaging him, and posting and sharing. And we've talked to him about the live show and how many people are tuning in. And I think that is giving him extra motivation to get back out there, because you can't, the rawness right now of what he's enduring physically and mentally, it's given him that courage and that strength to keep moving forward. But obviously, numbers are numbers, time is time, and this next 100 miles, if he can't maintain a particular pace and start trimming off some of those hours, the final 200 miles, it's really bleak,
Yep.
and at that point, it's like, okay, do I finish to say I finished, or do I, it's so easy for people to say that, like, oh, why didn't you just finish to say you finished? But he's being waterboarded right now of discomfort and pain and suffering, and
Yeah.
all he wants is it to stop.
The monument, or the Arizona Trail in itself, is such a monumental undertaking. But when you're going at it at that aggressive pace, nonstop, just constant forward progress, what he's doing is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you need to get the perspective on that every once in a while, I think. But I'm really glad to hear that you said he was able to get almost a full night's sleep. I'm assuming that's the most sleep he's gotten up to this point since the challenge has started.
He got a really good sleep at Vineyard.
Oh, that's
wait,
Roosevelt.
Let me see, Roosevelt. Let me see, not Vineyard. No, sorry, not Vineyard. the one before. Oh man, they're all starting to blend together. Sunflower.
Yeah. Yep.
He got, that was his last really good one, and he moved really well that day. And then he took a nap at Vineyard and went back out, and the nap didn't seem to, it started off good, but the terrain slowed him down into where then he came into Pickett or into Rogers Trough, took another hour nap there, and so two naps in a row, and then so it's kind of like he needs one big hard sleep and then maybe two naps, and one big hard sleep and then two naps. But the whole point is like if he starts dipping down in the well, and the amount that you slow down because of the mental and the sleep deprivation, the time that you lose, could you have slept longer and ran faster and been in a better state long term than sacrificing the sleep and then end up sacrificing the pace? It's such a gamble. It's so hard to make those decisions, and he's the one that's kind of facing. We just give him the numbers, we give him the facts, we give him what he needs to be doing and milestones, and then he goes out and does what he can do, and then we readjust those numbers.
Yeah, when you're pushing so far on such a long course, it's such a fine line between overdoing it and then going in too slow, losing time. I'm glad he's got the support of two crews now. I think that's going to be really helpful, hopefully through this section. I mean, if I was going to choose one section on the entire trail going southbound, south of Pine, I would choose this section to try and gain some miles back. It's cooler today, so that being at the lowest point of the trail, I've been through there in the winter actually when it's been like 90 degrees. So looking at the weather, it looks like it's a lot more doable today than it has been over the last few days, which I'm optimistic about. Does he have any crew with him at the moment, or is he out there solo?
No, he has Derek, his videographer.
Does. Excellent.
Yep, he has Derek, his videographer. We have another gentleman, a local gentleman coming in. He's coached by Jeff Browning. I believe he's familiar with possibly the area. He's coming in to take him from the Kelvin Bridge to Freeman.
Yeah, that's a long stretch.
Yeah. I mean, he got a 36, 30, and a 30 back to back, like pretty much a back to back. So 100 miles with two. I mean, you think about it, 2 aid stations.
Basically, right?
Yeah, close to 90 miles with 2 aid stations. So I mean, and in the desert heat of Arizona, so with just water caches. So this is going to be a deciding factor as we make our way across and assess at each of the aid stations and assess his sleep deprivation, and I just I don't know. I'm blown away now being on this side and coming. It's so different from when you're running and you're in it, and then when you're crewing and watching somebody else suffer, especially your best friend, and it's just like it's just inspiring. I just wish people could actually see the rawness of it.
Yeah, and afterwards I'm going to go to the Strava post and just kind of give everybody watching a little insight. Did you see what Mike wrote on there? Basically, what you said is that he was considering tapping out, and he's going to give it one more push here and see how it plays out.
Yeah, and this is all Mike. This is not like the crew making him go. This is a man that's just, I mean, digging in the well, digging deep, and just putting it out all on the line. And it's just, it's so dang cool.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're out there with him, Ben. I think Mike is in probably the best hands he possibly can be in right now. Are there any final thoughts you have?
We just want to keep reiterating strong push towards donating. I mean, we're doing this for a cause. Mike really, I mean, an extra carrot is knowing that people are donating. We want to, reach that 25,000 mark. The 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 donations are going to be being split between 3 organizations now. It's going to be Bigger Than the Trail. It's going to be Rod's Heroes, and then it's also going to be the Arizona Trail.org, basically Arizona Trail Association, to go back and betterment the trails, to get them, they need as much help as they can get too. I mean, it's not like these huge grants that just keep it up and everything like that. It takes people's volunteer and manpower, and there's so many people coming out. It's amazing that so many people are coming out and actually helping, like trying to pave the way for him to actually do this amazing feat. And so we want to encourage people that are watching to go and to donate. And then also we're doing a second round of hats. We sold out of the hats. The hats are super flying. They flew off the shelf. I think people are inspired, and they're freaking great hats from Boco. And so what we're doing is we're doing a pre-order again. So once the project is over, we'll put in the order for whoever purchased hats, and then it'll be a few weeks after, but they'll be delivered, and all proceeds go to the 3 organizations. So we just want to encourage people to do that as well, and then we have that raffle giveaway for those people that donate included.
Awesome. Love it, Ben. 3 very worthwhile charities. It's cool that you guys are able to tie in the fundraising with this. So thanks for shouting that out.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for all you guys are doing there at Aravaipa. This is absolutely amazing, and I think Mike's still plan is to attend Javelina, hang out, and so if you don't get a chance to come out and see him on the trail, and if he still plans to, I mean, how destroyed he is, but it's the timing. I mean, it's he has it on his schedule to go and chill at Javelina and meet and greet people, and then encourage those people running the Javelina 100 and the other distances on. And so it's just, I just encourage people to go out and say hi to him and stuff like that, and just tell him what he's done that's affected him. That's just the biggest thing when I get messages and say, hey, I'm sorry that this didn't go, it kind of went sideways for you, but this is what you've inspired me to do, and it just makes everything all worthwhile.
Absolutely. Awesome. Are you gonna be heading back to Utah after the showdown?
Yeah, I have a hard deadline of being back at home by Sunday, the 30th. I have getting the van back to.
Oh, right. Yep.
My buddy Taylor Spike, that's going to be flying in, and
shout out to Taylor.
Oh, dude, that's a dang capable 2-wheel drive van. That's all I'll say. And I never scraped it on anything. It made it almost It was just 0.7 miles away from Rogers Trough before we had to call it.
Yep.
But it's been a lifesaver, and Taylor's just salt of the earth, and the community salt of the earth. And so we couldn't have done it without the support of so many people around us.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ben, and thanks for what you're doing out there.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk soon.
Yep.
All right, bye. All right, so we are back. I wanted to take a quick look at the elevation profile of the Arizona Trail real quick, just to give you an idea of where Ben currently is and what he has coming up. So if you could see my finger right about here, you'll see the arrow that says Martinez Canyon. So Mike is probably around the high point right now. Picket Post is that low point just before, so it's a brief climb up, and then that descent from Martinez Canyon all the way down into the Gila. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm glad that they're doing it during the day, able to take in some of those views of the towering hoodoos and canyons that you're going through. He'll be next to the Gila, which you would think would be a great source of water, but it is very silty and will absolutely destroy your filter. So if there is any option to not have to drink out of that water, and walk the mud pit to get into it. I'm thinking that Mike will probably be avoiding that. And then after he exits the Gila River, it looks like a pretty good climb coming through here. But if you're talking relative to what he just came through, which would be Mazatol, Superstition, and Four Peaks Wilderness, it's going to be much, much flatter and less technical. So I think he's looking forward to that. We'll also take a look at the map, and you can see, let me see, about right level with my finger. You can kind of see the Gila cutting through the map, and so that's where Mike is currently, just about coming up on mile 500. So over halfway through, but he does have those sky islands coming up. So like we've pointed out before, you're going to have, if I can get my finger up there, you're going to have Mount Micah, Mount Lemon. This is Mount Wrightson, which you don't peak, but you do skirt the foothills of. And then the last point, Miller Peak, which is actually the high point of the course. Let's do some check-ins on what they've been up to. We could take a peek at Mike's Strava here. So most recent post, time for a Hail Mary. So this was posted yesterday or this morning, I believe. So where this is starting is, I believe, around Revis Ranch Trailhead. Could be Rogers Trough. And this is exiting the Superstitions, and this right here is Picket Post Mountain. So it skirts around that and then drops down to the Gila down there. So Mike kept a pretty good pace. Let's read what he says here. Feel like I've dug myself deep into a hole that I can't get out of with just 2 hours of sleep. Decided while running this section that I was pulling the plug, but then decided to try and sleep for 5 to 6 hours tonight, then hopefully crank out 75 plus tomorrow. Off to bed. So that was last night. It sounded like he did get that full amount of sleep that he was hoping for. Very glad to hear that. 75-mile day is going to be a very big push. But like I said, if you're going to do a big push, this is probably one of the places to do it. It's not entirely downhill, especially when you're along the Gila. It's a lot of up and down, but a lot more manageable than what he's been in up to this point. Let's go through and check on some of the social stories that are going on. So we're checking in with Ben's Instagram here, and this is their drive into Rogers Trough Trailhead. So this is what Ben said. I believe they made it about a mile and a half to the trail, so they didn't quite make it there. I know personally this road is extremely rough, and so I could definitely see that. They're probably taking it easy on the van. Ended up parking the van to avoid some rough road, hiked up supplies. That is beautiful. This is the Superstition Wilderness right here, kind of the road into it. Very pretty. To our rescue with the 4x4. And there's the hats. So what Ben just said is they're doing another pre-order on these. So if you are interested in picking up one of these hats, they are sold out now, but you can go to their website and pre-order one. So once the project is over, they'll go ahead and place that order. Oh, there it is right there. I'm not surprised they sold out. So this appears to be Mike. Let's see, 13 hours ago. So this could have been around Picket Post, or this might be kind of on the way between Montana Mountain and Superior. Looks like he's got his feet up, socks off. Hopefully he's keeping his feet in good order. These are some of the water caches for Mike and Light. Looks like they got some words of encouragement on there. And let's see, as I'm going through these, if you guys have any questions you want to pop in the chat, I'm going to recap those in just a minute here. Got all the swag. Cool. Let's check in with Brittany. Got a little bit of overlap in the post there. Todd Ferguson to the rescue. So this is Mike's Instagram. This is Mike's post from yesterday, and here you can see him. It looks like he is just south of Picket Post. In this picture, you can see the Picket Post Mountain in the background. Mike says, yesterday, the mental and physical deterioration got to me. I made the decision that my journey out here was over. But after a good breakfast, I decided to try and get a good night's sleep as well as eat a couple thousand calories, then push as hard as I can today. Let's see what this body can do. So it seems like today is going to be a big day as far as make or break for this FKT. So far, after going through those 3 wilderness areas, and I would say that those are most likely way more overgrown than they typically are. Having been in the superstitions recently, I know that I've never personally seen it that overgrown, and it might have something to do with previous burns that have gone through there. But I know the bike's been through some really rough sections, so I'm glad he's on this. This is a good place to make a push, and yeah, today's kind of a big day for Mike. Let's see what else we got in here. Sarah. So I'm just going to take a look at the map one more time here. So just to get an idea, if Ben is looking to go 70 miles from Picket Post, is that what he said? 75 miles from Picket Post. That means we got Picket Post right here is this little dot. So right by it is mile, let's call it 495. So if he's looking to do 75 miles, he's going to be almost to lemon by the time the night's over. If he's able to push as far as he wants to. It sounds like he has a pacer with him. Derek Liddell is on the trail with him, which makes me feel a lot better. Right here is the Kelvin Bridge. So this is where you stop paralleling the Gila and start going south. So it sounds like he might be picking up another pacer there. Let's see if we got anything in the chat here. Dear God, that final climb from the Colorado River to the North Rim. Is that, I think he might be talking about the Grand Canyon. Luckily, Mike doesn't have that coming up. Flagstaff third graders wishing you well out here. Keep hanging on. Little shout out supporting message to Mike. Love it. A Hail Mary soap pancakes. Let's see. It was tough watching Mike go through this. Really puts into perspective how amazing Joe's FKT attempt was. It really was. I mean, a lot of it is just what the trail's going to give you. Mike, Ben, Joe all face completely different challenges through there. I don't think Mike or Joe had as much problem with the overgrowth, while Ben and Mike didn't have to deal with the snow up north. So, you take what the trail will give you. Let's see. We have a couple more check-ins. So let's see how our 2 unsupported efforts are going. We got Eric Halston. So he's halfway. So he's probably past Sunflower at this point. If this was posted 18 hours ago, so he's doing really well. Currently 2.5 hours behind Joshua Perry's time, which Joshua Perry did a very stout time on the Arizona Trail. So it's good to see he's still cranking away at it. We could take a look at his tracker here and just see where his most recent ping is. Oh, it looks like he's just underneath Four Peaks. So this section's pretty cool. You come out of Sunflower, and then luckily you don't go up and over Mount Ord, and you get on this ridge line, and this is when you're able to see Roosevelt Lake, all Four Peaks, and you hike just kind of underneath the Four Peaks area right here before you go back down to the marina and then back up into Superstition. So looks like he has a little bit of downhill coming up. If we're taking Mike's experience, he probably is going to be going through some really rough trail. I believe Mike was quoted as saying in the Superstitions is some of the worst trail or maybe the worst trail he's ever had to hike. So nice work, Eric, for pushing in on that self-supported effort. Let's see how Chris is doing. So no updates for Krista, so we'll assume that she's still on pace for the women's unsupported FKT, hopefully. Last we heard, she was in pretty good spirits. She's been putting together some pretty full recaps, so it's been fun to follow along. Hopefully we hear back from her a little bit more. Let's check in on the Arizona Trail mountain bike race real quick. So we have a few on course here. So it looks like Jeff is coming up. Looks like he's in the Four Peaks Wilderness area, and then he's going to connect somewhere around the Four Peaks, and then he's going to be actually on the Arizona Trail for a little while through Sunflower. Doesn't look like they go through the Mazatals on the main trail, but he's already almost 400 miles in, and they just started a few days ago, so they are moving really fast. Andy Wenzel in a close second, it looks like. Andy is from Phoenix. Shout out to Andy. So they are all moving along. It looks like the folks who are the farthest south are still going up and over Lemon. And then I wanted to give you one more look. So if you wanted to donate to Ben Light or Mike McKnight's charities, you can click the link on their website. It's going to bring you here. So Bigger Than the Trail and Rod's Heroes, as well as the Arizona Trail Association. If you wanted to donate, this is going to be the place to do it. All these are great charities, and they all go to kind of push the sport forward in a way. And Rod's Heroes is an amazing charity as well. And I think that actually wraps it about up. Let me jump through some of the questions in the chat. Do we have anything on here? Yeah, so apparently Mike did have a few tough days there. It sounds like he is rallying. And like I said, today is going to be kind of a telling day as far as is he able to keep pace with the Arizona Trail. He has to make up some time through here. He was maybe not in 100% physical shape, but it sounds like he was able to get a really good night's sleep, and he's been hitting it so hard today, hard so far today. So going to be exciting to see where he ends up for tomorrow's check-in. Wanted to thank you all for following along with this massive undertaking that Ben Light and Michael McKnight have put together. And we will see you tomorrow.